TV, I'm Adam. Welcome back to another show, everybody. All of your Manchester United news, transfer news in this January transfer window now, and everything else going on around the club. We've got big updates this morning. Another rift behind the scenes, leaks coming out from Manchester United. We have to talk about what Nate Salt has said in the Daily Mail about the relationship going on behind the scenes, potentially broken between Christopher Vivell and Rúben Amorim. Well, we can read into it what we want. I'll read you what Nate Salt has said and then you make your minds up in the comment section. It doesn't look good for what's going on behind the scenes at Manchester United. United are looking at transfers coming in because of issues about what might happen in the summer. I've got good news and bad news with some reports going out from late last night on Manchester United potentially doing business in January, maybe because the summer isn't looking as promising. Updates on big midfield targets coming up in this show this morning, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. The game, well, it's match weekend again. Busy schedule for Manchester United. We went through the details of our squad and obviously lack of going into the Leeds game tomorrow. 8 players due to be missing unless we get that big update that Rúben was hinting on after today's training session. Probably get more information on that later tonight in the evening show. So we'll bring you that then and look a little bit more towards that Leeds game later on this evening. But the big thing that we're talking about this morning, the main headlines this morning, are on Manchester United's head of recruitment, Christopher Vivell, and his comments about Rúben Amorim and his system way back in August. So why is this relevant now? Well, this is how I see the situation. And first of all, let's just read out what Nate Salt from the Daily Mail has written in his piece. Everyone's talking about this morning. And it is, after the 1-1 draw against Fulham in August, Christopher Vivell was frustrated at how easily Manchester United's system was exposed and discussed publicly. He reportedly shared the comments with senior leadership, stressing the need for a less predictable setup, putting this onto a private senior figure WhatsApp group as well. Now, straight away, ding, 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 alarm bells are ringing in my head here. That was in August. Why has this come out now? And more importantly, how has something been leaked out at such a senior level at Manchester United? Inos can go on about trying to stamp out all of the leaked information at Manchester United. Plug the leaks, is what we're saying. But how has something like this been leaked out of the football club? I asked the question. Journalists have clearly gone in on what happened yesterday and done a little bit of digging by the sounds of it. Tried to find out why Rúben was so frosty yesterday, because he was stone-faced and he looked like he was ready to kill yesterday. He was giving daggers to everybody in that press conference yesterday. And I think most people now have been giving their opinions and talking about Rúben and his mood in that presser. And I think journalists have come away from that going, yeah, like the rest of us, the fan base, something's not right here. So what happens? A little bit of digging, a little bit of tapping up certain people at the football club, a little bit of research behind the scenes, maybe asking certain questions to certain people, and all of a sudden, bang, we've got this in the Daily Mail. Look, I'm not making this up, it's there for everybody to read, so we can talk about it all we want here right now, and the concerns, I think, are there for everyone within the Man United fan base and the football club itself as to something like this. And we have heard publicly Jason Wilcox talk about this on Man United's own channel, MUTV. The conversations and discussions going on between Vivell, Rúben and himself about recruitment and about the future of this football club, what's necessary, what's needed. And then we get news like this, that Christopher Vivell really hasn't been impressed with Rúben Amorim from the get-go, you would say. Now, as I read this, I'm trying to put myself in Vivell's shoes here, and this is how I see the situation. I'll come to your thoughts on this in a moment as well, everybody. And please do, if you are playing catch-up, watching this show later, get your comments in below on this straight away, please. I'm looking at Christopher Vivell, very, very good reputation. Obviously, Jason Wilcox, Omar Barad. I'm talking about the management team here that Inos has put in place, the best in class, so-called, anyway. And their careers, their reputations as such, in the hands of Rúben Amorim. How has Vivell seen this? Has he looked at that 6 months debacle, disaster class that was the end of last season under Rúben Amorim? The grace periods, give him a chance, give him time. Look at the nightmares he's got to deal with, the Garnacho, Sancho, Rashford, bomb squad situation. How can anything work for a manager? How can he ever implement anything he wants on that football pitch or in training with all of that circus going on behind the scenes. Fair enough. Really, there's no excuse for Man United to be where they are in the league still. That's still an absolute disgrace from last season. So Vivell's looked at that. Okay, maybe we give him leeway. Let's not forget where Vivell's worked before. Perfectly won, well-run, set up at the Red Bull Group between all of them teams, obviously off to Chelsea, quite well-travelled and obviously well-respected. And he's come to Manchester United, the so-called biggest club in the world, most valuable club in the world, and he's got this. That's how I'm thinking Vivell's looking at this. So you got that 6 months, and we have let him off. Right, let's go and do our work. Let's go and get these players in. And Manchester United's forward line, in what we really concentrated on in the summer in the transfer window, is doing well for the club this season. Quite clearly, more goals going in, more chances created. That side of it's working. Vivell's issue, from what I can think here, is he's had that 6 month period to know exactly what his squad is like and how to get more out of them. He's had a full pre-season with no international tournaments to work with. He's had all of this time with every player being available, including new signings this summer as well for him. And he set the season off. Good performance against Arsenal. That's all right. And then, bang, we had that warning. So I remember what I said after the Fulham game. I remember my words. And this is where I'm thinking what Vivell is actually thinking in his head right now. I remember my words from this. And my opening line in my match reaction to that Fulham game was, that really concerned me. Because Manchester United were absolutely carved open at Craven Cottage. And we know they were. We capitulated again. After starting the game off well, bang, gone. Vivell's comments here, and United being exposed. And remember, Smith Rowe and Iwobi speaking after that Fulham game. And this is brought up in Nate Salt's piece in the Daily Mail as well, where he says that he was concerned how easy it was described and broken down by players and managers like Marco Silva also speaking, Nate Salt said, about how they knew what Man United were going to do. It was too easy, too exposed. All right, fair enough. We've gone through the season. United are still challenging and are still fighting for the Champions League places. But we know we are still quite weak-centred, don't we? We know this. This is where I think Vivell's problem is. The bigger issue in all of this is why now? Why has this story come out now? And why has it been leaked by Manchester United now? Because this is supposedly a high senior level situation here and a private conversation that two of Manchester United's so-called best in class under this new management scheme at Inos have been talking about. And this is now in the public domain. The circus carries on. It's in full flow right now. Happy New Year 2026. We're 3 days in and we've got this car crash of stories coming out of Manchester United right now again. We had all of what happened with Rúben yesterday, and then today the media have done their work again and again. Thank you, Manchester United. I think that's what everyone in the media world and the journalists are saying right now. There's always something to write about and dig out of this football club, isn't there? And here we go again. Why now? Like, this is not helping anything at all, and the media are going to keep on going at this. The blood is there, and they're mopping it up. They're feeding off it right now. They can see Rúben is dying a slow death right now in front of them in them press conferences. Yesterday pretty much summed up Rúben's mood. He's got no squad. He's got no help coming from the hierarchy. And he knows that it's not going to change this month. I think in his head, that's how he's thinking anyway. We have other stories in this show today that's kind of contradict that, and I'll go into them in a moment. But this whole leaked story from Vivell, and I'm guessing Wilcox was on this conversation as well because he's the one that's in charge of them all. Like Wilcox himself said, Vivell works under him. So if there's a problem, Wilcox will know about it. This is not good for United. It is embarrassing, to be honest, again, from the football club. And the big push for no leaks, and then we get one of the biggest leaks of all at the highest level of the football club come out just before one of the biggest good matches in this club's history. Leeds at Ellen Road tomorrow with Rúben Amorim, with 3/4 of his squad missing, 3/4 of his first team missing, basically on his arse. Great work. Fantastic. That's a way to get the fans on board, isn't it? And look, I know Nate Salt's only doing his job, but again, who at Manchester United is letting this story come out? There's a reason why it's been kept under wraps for so many months. And now when the chips are down and Rúben's really under pressure, bang! There you go. Typical. Everything that happens around Manchester United, the pylon comes just at that moment. When United are not doing well, these guys go to work. But who is leaking this out? That's the issue right now, because this is senior level, like I said. Nate Salt's just doing what a journalist would do. and that's their life. We know what they work like, and we know what it's like. Everyone was reporting the negative yesterday after Rúben's response in that presser. But who is giving this information out? And again, shocked. Well, I'm not shocked, actually. I'm not shocked that it's come out, but shocked that under this new management team and everything that's going on right now, that we get a story like this. It's not helping anything at all right now, but I think with everything that's going on, I think what Man United fans will say, and I'm going to come to your thoughts and comments now, everyone, so get them ready in the live comment section if you're live with us. I think this is what we've all seen before. It's that movie again, isn't it? We've seen things like this happen with Manchester United managers, the board. When things are not going well, or you get the sense that they're not aligned behind the scenes, things start to come out. And the one thing that I would say is that the reputations of this so-called best-in-class management and recruitment team that I have bigged up and said are doing a good job, I think they still are. I think their reputations are on the line. Their reputations are in the hands of Rúben Amorim. Because if United don't get results on the pitch, then United are not working. And you get all of the car crash, carnage and everything above them, and the stories coming out from the hierarchy and within Manchester United everywhere across the globe. And that's where we're at right now. I think there are people at Manchester United that are clearly concerned here about what's happening on the pitch, and their reputation is being thrown under the bus with it. That is my guess anyway on that one, and that's how I think this is coming about. I'm trying to put myself in their shoes and going, why is this man doing what he's doing? Why is he reverting back to what didn't work before all of a sudden when we've stumbled upon? So, yeah. Do you know what I mean? This is obviously a big issue within United now. For this to be leaked out as well, I'm definitely concerned about it as a United fan. Where are you at? So I'm going to get into the comments section right now. Something else that has started to creep into mindsets of the Manchester United fan base that I've noticed as well, and there's been a few comments coming in here in the live show already this morning, is the mystery behind Kobbie Mainoo. Is he really injured? I mean, that sort of mindset starts to creep in when things are not going well, and you can tell that's coming. We'll discuss that in a moment, actually, but on everything that I've just said there, give me your thoughts, everybody, please. Get into the live comment section and let me know what you're thinking right now, because this is not ideal for Manchester United. And he's in there with a super chat straight away. Says, Vivell and Wilcox are under scrutiny for not buying midfielders, so they do what they do best. Pass the buck, shift the attention onto Rúben. Sharks, says Ant. Do you agree with Ant? Is this throwing our manager under the bus here? Is this not helping the matter? And obviously, like I said, reputations are on the line. So move it. Pass the problem on. We've done our job. We've brought these players in, but the system's not working. Surely you would have had that conversation with Rúben Amorim back in August then. But Rúben, this isn't good enough. That's obviously, ideally there we could do with changing this system up. It's not working. It didn't work last season. There's not many more players come in here. We've given you a great strike force, but that strike force isn't really going to bail you out week in, week out, is it? And this is the case. So why wasn't this brought up before? Maybe it is just a defensive mechanism and someone at the club has said something because they're being pulled up. They might see the media reporting about fans talking about Rúben not being backed, the hierarchy not doing its job, the Manchester United recruitment team not really helping Rúben and throwing him under the bus. Maybe all them stories have brought them to this point where they have to push their side of things. And again, they don't have to answer to anyone. Drop the story in and bang, let Rúben deal with it. It looks like sabotage to me from the outside looking in. It's like, it's not my fault. Yours. It's like Ant's made a good point there. Do you agree with that, everybody? United transfer to midfield. Keith Smith, Anderson, Carlos Baleba, Neves, Gallagher, Edison, Shuttlebeck. Loads of targets there. Yeah, I'll talk about some of them actual targets in a moment when we move on to the next story, actually. Greg said, it's the weekend that we should be talking about the matches and football and not text messages from August 2025. Who's benefiting from this? Not the club, not us, not Rúben, not the team, not the mood, not anything. But the media have really pushed this because they know that people want to talk about it. And they know that Manchester United fans care about their football club. And if there is a negative, it's open season, mate. And that's what they're going to push. It's ridiculous. It really is. The whole world knew we needed midfielders in the summer. We signed 0, so Vivell and Wilcox can take a look in the mirror. There you go there. Liam there is backing Rúben on that one. It is the hierarchy's fault that they haven't brought them players in. They're supposed to do their jobs. A lot of people would say they're supposed to say, look, we are lacking in this area. If we're going to trust in Rúben's system, then we need to back that system and get him the right players. That's what a lot of people will say. But then again, Rúben has come out and said himself that he has a big part in the recruitment and we all have to be aligned. I think for the first time on Rúben's mood and what we discussed last night, they are not aligned. It clearly shows that, I think, as well. Let's see what else we've got here as well. MUFC Damu says, how can you beat Newcastle away and then draw with Wolves? Well, it wasn't away, it was at home. And draw with Wolves at home, United, I'm afraid, mate. Good morning to everyone who's just jumping in. I know it is a Saturday morning. We are live Saturday morning right now. Loads of people in already. Give me your thoughts on this story leaking out from Manchester United today, everybody, about the let's just call it the discontent behind the scenes between certain senior members of staff at United and probably Rúben Amorim. Lots of people in the chat so far today are saying that there is a pass in the book going on here. Wilcox and Vivell need to take blame for this. Omar Barada, everyone above Inos needs to take blame, not just Rúben Amorim. I think with this one, we can call out Rúben Amorim for his system. We've seen the system fail. We've seen a different one work. So we can call him out on match days and what he does. But this, I mean, I'm stepping aside from Rúben Amorim here. I get where people would want to blame him, but this should not be happening at Manchester United. This, no matter how bad or how well it's going at the club, we shouldn't be having these senior sort of conversations being leaked out into the media. Really, we're looking forward to a massive game tomorrow against Leeds, and all we're talking about is things going wrong behind the scenes. And if the game doesn't go well tomorrow, well, you know yourselves, the onslaught that's coming is going to be unbearable. And it's going to be I'm just glad that it's on Sunday and we've got Saturday today to deal with and actually enjoy our weekend a little bit. Because tomorrow, if it doesn't go well, and look, I'm not trying to push it going wrong. I think United can beat Leeds, and I actually do think that we will get a reaction out of this team. Yeah, I'll leave that. I don't even want to tempt fate right now with that game tomorrow. It's scaring me already. Adam, if the truth be known, the vast majority of United fans didn't want Amorim from the start. The next step gets Inos out as well. I don't think that they have done a lot for the club. Well, they have done bits for the club, and it is better. They have improved certain areas. I think it's a definite push from them to bring in the right type of people. And I've said before, look, I want this to be given a little bit of time to see where we're at, maybe 3 years. So this time next year, obviously, I'll start to be judging them a lot more. I'm seeing concerning moments here. Obviously, I'm not going to hide away from them. I'm not going to back Ineos on everything. I'll talk about the good things. I'll talk about the bad things. This is bad for me. I hate this sort of thing. I really do. And we do need to talk about it because they need to be pulled on it as well. We can't blame Rúben Amorim for everything that's going wrong at Man United. Even though he is really doing my head in at the moment, it's not all his fault. And this is why we're talking about it. We are. Don't forget, everybody, thank you already for all of the likes. And everybody who is subscribed as well. 60% of you are returning subscribers as well on this channel. So thank you so much for that. But that other 40% are actually not subscribed. It helps the channel out massively. My aim this year is to try and get that up to at least 65%. So if you aren't subscribed, please do hit that subscribe button as well to keep up to date with all of the Man United content going on around the football club. You know, in times like this time of year, transfer windows have got you fully covered with all of the news going around the football club. We're going to continue on the transfer theme now and move the show forward a little bit. So I've seen people bring up the situation with Kobbie Mainoo. A lot of people now saying that they're not even convinced that Kobbie Mainoo is actually injured. Now, I'm just going to go along with the club and say, I'm surely he's injured. Please, I pray that he is injured. I don't want to be talking about people feigning injuries and not really being injured because they don't want to play. If that was the case, oh my God, it would be going off, wouldn't it? It would. I'm going to move away from that and think, I'll try and push myself to think that that can't be happening. Never say never with this football club and what goes on behind the scenes, but surely Kobbie Mainoo is injured. I mean, Rúben's not updating us at all on it. This is the problem that we've got. the issue that we've got with this is Rúben doesn't tell us anything at all about the injuries. They don't do anything. Rúben could be saying that he's injured. People are saying that. I'm picking up on this. I didn't have this in the show this morning, but maybe internally he's pissed off because of what happened with his family and what he did on the side of the pitch. Maybe he's doing things like he did with Rashford and Garnacho, where on press conferences he didn't really touch on it, didn't say it. Remember what he said about Rashford? He said that we're a better team with him in the side, but we need the Marcus Rashford in this team. We need the right Marcus Rashford in this team, the one that was scoring goals frequently, that one that's at Barcelona right now. But this is where fans now start to talk, because Rúben's not talking. And we've seen this before. We've seen the same scenario play out. Internally, maybe Rúben is doing more than what we know, and he's just not telling us. He doesn't give anything away. When you break down Rúben Amorim and you listen to what's been said, you listen to the stories about him not speaking to anyone he walks into Carrington. You listen to what Bruno Fernandes, the captain, said. After he deals with his football stuff, he doesn't talk to anyone. He doesn't get to know anyone, doesn't care about anybody else. He just carries on with his day. He's very, very different and shut down and closed down. He isn't going to give anything away to the media. He doesn't really like the media anyway, so you can say that easily. But is this a concern for us now that there might be something else going on behind the scenes? Because he's not even talking about him. He won't even bring him up. This was supposed to be a small, minor injury for Kobbie Mainoo, and there's nothing. It's ridiculous. I know we're not supposed to know everything, but you could actually say, or maybe even just calm the waters a little bit and stop us speculating and people thinking that there is something else going on by just saying he is still recovering. It might be taking a little bit longer. Give us a bit of detail on the actual injury so we can actually take that and use it. And I think just give ourselves a little bit of confidence that there isn't anything going wrong behind the scenes. All we're doing without getting the information on the injuries and the detail of them is panic and more concern behind the scenes. There's no harm in telling us exactly what the injury is or where the problem is with the player. It's not going to make a difference to his return. With us not knowing about it, people speculate. And because of the fallout with Kobbie Mainoo, I think it's made it worse. Look, I don't think there's any major issue in it in terms of us not knowing everything. But fans are always going to talk. And now this is starting to bubble up. With all of the things going wrong behind the scenes, this sort of thing is going to come about. Just to give you a little bit more on what Nate Salt said, he's obviously said, the first bit obviously was the one we read out this morning. Following the 1-1 draw away to Fulham in August, Christopher Vivell, according to sources, was irritated at how Manchester United's system was so brazenly explained and exploited by the likes of Smith, Rowe, Iwobi, and of course, Marco Silva as well. Another piece from that, just in, is Jason Wilcox's dialogue with Amorim is continuous, whether it be at Carrington, on flights between matches, or on the platform at Stockport train station, as we've seen them pictures. United's director of football is routinely passing his thoughts on. In recent weeks, it has become increasingly apparent through Amorim's comments that those conversations are more fraught. On Friday afternoon, the smiles, shoulder taps and wisecracks were nowhere to be seen. His comments on little chance of new recruits in January only added to the belief of strained relations. Pretty much backing up what we were saying yesterday there, Nate Salt. And lots of people reporting the same thing on that one as well. Recruitment is going to end up, I think, buckling the relationship between United and the hierarchy, it would seem. And there has to be an explanation behind the mood of Rúben Amorim yesterday, like we said as well. In terms of the transfers, there is a concern going on right now. And I mentioned at the top of the show that Manchester United might be pushed into going into the transfer window in January. Now, Sky Sports did a big piece on Carlos Baleba last night, saying that Manchester United have explored the possibility, of taking Baleba in January. Brighton have apparently knocked them back again, though. So United are trying to buy Baleba in January. This is something that we've spoken about before, And obviously, it's never been really brought up in conversation. But now Sky Sports have got obviously all of the transfer shows going again. There was a big debate and a big talk about this last night on Sky Sports, that United are trying to get Baleba in January. But Brighton's stance as it is at the moment is still they don't see Baleba leaving in January. They want him at the football club, and there is a big future for him at Brighton. Of course, that is just the club saying what's necessary. But the January thing might be difficult for Manchester United to do. But you have to now try and get this deal done for Manchester United. So I'm happy that we're attempting to try it. But there's attempting and then there's getting the job done, isn't there? So Sky talking about Baleba last night. There is also reports from Dean Jones as well, a journalist who works for a couple of different websites, transfer expert, talking about Manchester United attempting to go back in for Ederson from Atalanta as well. Now, lots of people have been talking about Ederson. Why has that gone cold? Why United not in for him? It cooled because we've been trying to get him apparently for the last 2 summer transfer windows and had no luck. And I don't think Manchester United are too keen on doing business with Atalanta anymore, maybe. I could only guess. But apparently because his price has become a lot cheaper, around the 30 million mark now, whereas before it was between 50 and 70 million, the conversations on Ederson from Atalanta have started to spark up again. And of course, we brought you the news last night that Manu Kone is a target for Manchester United also. So Kone, Ederson, Baleba, automatically, you're going to then start to think as a United fan, whoa, hang on a minute. What about Adam Wharton? What about Elliot Anderson? Why are we now looking at Ederson? If we buy Ederson, that's one place gone for the summer. Surely United aren't going to do this again. They're not going to buy the cheaper options and the easy options rather than going out and getting the right target. That can't be the case, can it? Well, maybe there is a bit of a panic setting in because there are several stories going around last night as well that Liverpool have moved right to the front of the queue and are really pushing down on Adam Wharton now. Elliot Anderson to Manchester City, Adam Wharton to Liverpool. United need to salvage this season. Otherwise, I can already feel that the vibe that's going to be this summer. All we've done all season from every single journalist or anybody in the know is talk about why we're not buying players in January, because we're going to go out and smash it in the summer and get the better players. It clearly is not going to happen if we've not got Champions League football. It's there for the taking. I seen someone make a tweet. I think someone tweeted out, Manchester City last season were in 6 after 19 games. I don't even know if that's true, but they were off it. So they went out and spent near 200 million just to put themselves in a position to go and challenge for the title. Obviously, they didn't. Well, they did, but they didn't win the title. But they went out and spent money in January, and that was the sign of someone really pushing forward. Manchester United are in a similar situation right now where Champions League is there. And there is things that you can do in January to make that more of a reality and go for it. Wharton, Anderson. Baleba is a different story, I feel. I've always said I think Baleba's made his mind up about United anyway. Just go and make that deal happen now. Go and do something now and make it happen, because these stories about Liverpool pushing forward with Wharton really, really concern me. The Elliot Anderson one with Manchester City is even more of a concern. It's all right, other people coming out, Andy Mitten saying that United's top target is Elliot Anderson, anyone who knows anything. And they're not wrong. They're right. That's what United want. It's all right talking about this, but the reality is there's no chance of it happening unless Manchester United are in the Champions League. It's quite clear to everybody now that we have to be in the top competitions for these players to come. Because the players want to play in them competitions, and affordability as well. Ineos will know this. You're going to have to, I've said this before, push the envelope and make something happen here in January, because if they don't, they're going to lose them targets. Then you're going to get the onslaught from the fan base and everybody talking about what we didn't do. God knows what's going to happen with Rúben Amorim anyway. And the whole push this season to back Rúben Amorim looks kind of stupid. So what we're talking about now, we're going to bring back up in the summer and say again, like, if you were right behind Rúben Amorim, why didn't you bring somebody in? Because if he doesn't get European football, this season, he's probably going to be sacked anyway by the end of it. So you've basically thrown an opportunity away what's staring you in the face right now. The league is all over the place. And United are in it. Cannot realistically see anybody coming up behind Manchester United. We have been so inconsistent the last 2 months. And nobody's taken us. We're still stuck in 6th, 7th, right in there on Europa League football positions. It's easy for Man United to move forward here and make something happen and move away from that bunch and make this season actually a successful one for United. If they don't do it, then we're going to be talking about this moment in the summer where we didn't do something in January to make Champions League happen, to make European football a formality. That's what's going to be talked about. And we're here now. People passing the buck. Leaks coming out of Manchester United. Rúben's clear discontent with what's going on. His body language has changed. No news coming out about players. Mystery injuries popping up all of a sudden all over the place. We've seen this all before and we know where it goes. All there is different actors playing the roles for this movie right now. We've got Inos' crew instead of the absolute shower that was there before. The reputations for these people at the top at Manchester United, I think, are under more scrutiny because they are known as football people. Whereas before we had the excuse of calling them bankers. And Manchester United's hierarchy was nowhere near what was necessary for a club this size to compete in the best competitions in football. Right now, we supposedly have. We've invested in that area. And it's all going to come crashing down if United don't make European football this season. And I think we're looking at possibly here a defining month for Inos and Rúben Amorim. I think one way or another, this is coming to an end. Inos either go out and spend money and make this happen, and we're not talking about it, or Rúben's gone because he hasn't got enough in there. Just think, without that investment now, they are really throwing him under a little bit, I feel. They need to make it happen. Otherwise, everything that I've just talked about there will happen in the summer. The obvious, and you can talk about what I've said there and say, well, you're probably building that up into a bigger story than what it is, Adam. No, Wharton and Anderson are top players that United want, but we're not going to get if we're not in Europe. Facts. I think that's been said. Why would you want to? Why would Anderson want to go to United when he's got City there? Why would Wharton want to go to United when he's got Liverpool there? They're both in Europe and looking to compete, whereas United are happy with 6 in Europa League football. He's already playing in that level of football right now. Both of them are. If that's Manchester United's target, then what hope have you got of enticing them players into the club? It's not going to work. Like, I'm all for the plan and forward thinking, like I've said before, with Ineos and seeing out the next 4 years in the Europa League. I think that was a big on, to be honest. There's no way that United can compete just in the Europa League for 4 years. I mean, Barada said we're winning the league in 2028. That's 2 years away. So that's complete bollocks, isn't it, really, about finishing just in the right places to play Europa League football. United are not competing in the Europa League. Europa League's going to be all right maybe for one more season, and you have to be in the Champions League. What I'm saying here is there's a chance you can invest and help Rúben, and we can get Champions League football. No one's taking this opportunity. Chelsea are all over the place. They're talking about bringing Messina in as the manager, who's got no experience at all at the highest level. It is all over the place at Liverpool. Take advantage now. And go out and make something happen in this window. And that way then, we can all go and say, well, they give Rúben the chance. They spent the money. They pushed the book in January. They gave him the opportunity. And if he fails with that, so be it. But at least then we can say, well, Rúben, you've been given near £300 million worth of players in your first 18 months. Why haven't you made it happen? We've backed you. We've given you everything. You've had all the training time as the super coach. There you go. It makes it easier. The argument becomes easier then, doesn't it? That was my little mini rant on a Saturday morning there. Clearly pissed off. Do you have doubts over Kobbie Mainoo injury? Is the poll running right now? 72%. Oh, my God. That tells you exactly where everybody's at right now. Let's get some more thoughts on this as well, everybody. Get your comments in. I'm going to scroll through everything now. Super chat from Ant says, let's be honest, why would they join us over them? As in, the Labour Anderson, Wharton, when you've got City, Liverpool, probably Arsenal, Chelsea, all coming in for him. This is the problem. Go make something happen where you can compete with them in the market. You can't compete with City and Liverpool and Arsenal in the transfer market right now because you haven't got Champions League football. Doesn't matter how rich Man United are, we've still got the debts. We've still got all of that coming off. And Manchester United's profits are non-existent while we're harnessing them debts. If we get in the Champions League, it's a gold mine. It's an absolute gold mine. And that's where United need to be. If we go 2 seasons without it, then we're starting to drop off. United won't be able to financially cover that. There's only so many cuts that Inos can make before Manchester United start to just fall away because we can't compete in the transfer market because we're not in the Champions League. We have to be there. The story from Duncan Castles about how Manchester United lost Semenyo is probably doing the rounds as well right now on social media. I've already picked this out before it's hit social media. And on a couple of websites, it's been talking about how Manchester United lowballed Semenyo having been in prime position. Now, Castles is all too eager and keen to go in on the negative on Man United. He's done this before, so you can take this with whatever sort of pinch of salt you want. It's Manchester United agreeing with Bournemouth on the price, but then not convincing Semenyo again. And the story is that they have lowballed him wage-wise 2 separate occasions now. Once in the summer and then once in this move this January. Whether you want to believe that story or not, these are just the things that come out when United are down in the dumps. And you're always going to get these negative pushes from journalists. It's just what it is. The only way they turn it around is by going out, making that dream a reality in terms of going out and buying the right players in January, and then United get back in the Champions League. It's as simple as that. But the Semenyo going to City is proof of what we've just spoke about then. Wharton, Liverpool, Anderson, Manchester City. Again, top targets going elsewhere. Why? Decent money. That's different now. United used to be able to compete with that. Inos have a structure and they won't break it. And Champions League football, and other clubs are in a better financial position than us. We've got to get past the fact, we've got to get past this mindset of we're Man United and we'll get what we want. Like, we had that in certain moments in the summer, but that's not going to continue if United are not in the Champions League. And I said this, it's like Cunha and Bumo, these sorts of players will come to United ahead of other clubs, even if we haven't got Champions League football, because United always come back. The more and more Man United stay out of European football, the more that hold and that sort of aura around Manchester United diminishes. It goes, doesn't it? It's like players will look at it, well, before, we were always guaranteed United would bounce back. That's 2 seasons out of Europe, if it doesn't go well this season, that is. It's only going to get worse and only going to drop off from there because the money's going to get less. And you're not going to be able to compete wage-wise with the other clubs then. So that's the problem, and that's basically breaking it down as to why Manchester United now need to get into this transfer market this January and make it happen. Peter says in the comment section, my mate said to me, look at the way Nice in France is being ran. We are going down the same road. I hope he's wrong, but I kind of see it now. John says, you'd better think the club would be looking at the positives. We're in a good position in the league. We need to gamble right now and bring some players in, and we could secure Champions League. Dead right, John. 6 or above, I read as I won't get the sack if we get 6th, 5th place, but that's a minimum, and top 4 is the aim. Yeah, I read the same thing on Sir Jim Radcliffe on that one, Greg. If he gets Champions League football, well, secretly, Sir Jim Radcliffe believes that this squad is good enough to get Champions League football. The minimum requirement is Europa League football, so that's going to be top 6 this season. We're in there now. So we're level par with what we need to do. That's what I think is necessary. And I think if that's minimum par and you think that you can get Anderson, Wharton, other players in at Manchester United ahead of the other clubs, then you're thinking small. You're not. It's not going to happen. You have to go out and get Champions League football this season now. I think it's been made clear. think United have been stunned by the fact that they've given everything to Antoine Semenyo and he's turned around and said he wants to go City. I think that was your warning sign right there. And it's probably coming good timing for us. So if they don't act on it now, then it's their fault. So that's there. That's proof that in the summer it's going to go the same way. They have to act on it. There are players there that can improve Manchester United and get us over the line. They need to start thinking outside the box as well. Owners are going nowhere. No, they're not going anywhere. No one's even talking about that, Malcolm. You're right. It's a fact. Only a United fan base can bring real change. What are the barriers and what are you and others doing to make it happen? Genuine question. I'll just throw the question back at you, Malcolm. What are you doing? You're a United fan, clearly, aren't you? Or are you not? The fans can't do anything. We've protested. We've stopped games. It's not made a difference at all. We can leave our seats. Someone else will buy them for more money and the ownership are even stronger. What can the fans do? We are suckers because this is our life. This is our club. Obviously, I've gone mad. And I know you've asked that question nicely, Malcolm, that are not in a sort of condescending way like many people have before with me in terms of what are the fans going to do? Why are we not giving up our season tickets? Why are we still going? Why are we buying merchandise? Well, I don't buy merchandise. I get all of my gear from elsewhere. And I go in to Old Trafford because that is part of my life and my luxury. Well, it's not a luxury. It's a privilege to be in this position where I'm at. I've said that before. The fans can't do anything. The fans have been proven to never be able to do anything at all. So that is a non-argument, in my opinion. Spending money on a new midfielder won't get us Champions League. No single midfielder can do the job. We need to fix things. And buying two means one sits on the bench as long as Bruno is here. Well, we're seeing what life is like without Bruno Fernandes right now, mate. So, yeah, one midfielder coming in will definitely help Man United get the Champions League. I don't know why you would even think that, Andrew, to be honest. Because you're replacing a poor midfielder with a better one. And if you replace a first-team regular with a better player, you've always got a better chance. And we're literally in the Champions League places right now, so it's only going to make it easier for us to get there if we've got a better player there. Surely that's the way you've got to be thinking. Rúben Amorim was brought in to reset the club ethos, mentality and start the rebuild. He may not be here long, but has weeded out bad apples and been ruthless in trying to do what he's always done, start over. Yep, and he has done a good job behind the scenes with that. He has. My concerns with Rúben Amorim are the way he's talking now. And that's my biggest worry. Because before he was always a straight talker. And I will never forget what Rúben Amorim has done behind the scenes with outing that crap like Mark says there. Mark is bang on the money with that comment, by the way. But the results are the results. The performances are the performances. And ultimately, it is his job to get more out of this squad and more out of this team and get us up there. And if he doesn't, he will get sacked. Simple as that. And I said it before, I'll say it again. This month, January, starting tomorrow against Leeds, is absolutely huge for Rúben Amorim. He needs to hit the ground running this year. He needs a win tomorrow. And I just feel like his mood yesterday, on top of what we were talking about with the story from Nate Salt, behind the scenes, discontent and concerns, and then lack of squad, not having his best players available for a big game where everybody's going to really be judging him. It just looked like all of that was on Rúben's shoulders yesterday, and he doesn't look a happy man. It doesn't look good off body language for us going into the game tomorrow is what I'm saying. We are not missing Bruno. We are missing Mount and Mbumo, Ahmad and De Ligt. We're missing Bruno alongside them. You can talk about Bruno not being important all you want, but he is. And he makes things happen, just like them other players you mentioned. You cannot say that we're not missing Bruno and we're only missing them other players. We're missing Bruno, mate. It's hard for people to accept, but we are. And we always will do. Because he's that type of player. Simple as. I haven't brought anything since the Glazers. I haven't bought anything since the Glazers turned up. But I lost to brother Adam, and that's why I wanted a shirt, and no one will get me one for a present. Pete, get in on the prediction game, mate, and you will be in with a chance of winning one instantly, buddy. This is, I'll get into that prediction game in a minute. I'll just get some more comments up quickly. I completely agree with Adam. There's a queue of people waiting to take my season tickets and willing to pay more. So match-going fans have no power. No, we don't have power. Well said, Block, on that one. Cheers for that, Sean, mate. Quickly, on that prediction game, everybody, if you do want to win, I've got my windbreaker top here, my latest United one. Not from the club, of course. But it's the latest one on OK Jerseys, our matchday sponsors. There you can see on the screen. The link to their website is actually in the description as well, everybody. So if you wanted to get your own now and actually grab hold of one, really good value as well, then get on there. But we are giving these away in our prediction competition, which is up this weekend as well. Get into our mini league now, everybody, by predicting these 6 match events on your screen right now. You only have to pick 2 to be in the league, to be in with a chance of winning tops like that. But you can also put a wager on this if you want as well and grab yourself a bit more of a win. This is all ahead of the game tomorrow. We're going to be running this competition in the game, in the watch-along for Leeds tomorrow afternoon. So get in there now, everybody. Many of you have already played this game before. Can we get the predictions right this weekend, though? There are plenty to go off there. 6 to choose from. You can max out at 6, or you can pick just 2, like I said, and be in a chance of winning. Will Dominic Calvert-Lewin score a goal or get an assist? The same for Cunha and Sesko. Will they get a goal or assist? Simple yes or no answers on them there. Will it be level at half-time? Will there be under 3 goals in the game? And will there be more than 4 cards? I think I'd put a tiny little wager on there will be more than 4 cards. I don't think there'll be more than 3 goals because I think it's going to be a tight game. Will Sesko play? I think he will, definitely. Cunha will definitely play. Calvert-Lewin will definitely play. And Calvert-Lewin's in good form, so maybe just say yes for that one because United don't keep clean sheets and Calvert-Lewin is banging goals for fun at the moment. Cunha's United's best player in front of goal right now, so maybe say yes for him creating anything from United. Your gamble there, I think, is Sesko probably more than anything, but enter that competition now. The game will be running on the watch-along as we go through the game on Sunday lunchtime. I'll be here. Another guest appearance coming in on the watch-along this weekend as well. Someone you have not seen before, or if you have actually been following the channel, subscribed for years, and I'm talking going way back here, then you will recognise the person who's going to be sat next to me here tomorrow anyway. So, yes, all will be revealed on the day, of course. United games are predictable because the players are one-dimensional. Most can't do the basics: tackling, passing, crossing, movement, shooting. Their weak mentality and physically. Thanks for that super chat there as well. Honestly, is that 21st century guy? Yes, it is. Thank you for that super chat, mate. I think a lot of people would agree with the criticism of certain players. Basic, really easy to defend against, really easy to break down as well. But we are, in the system, I think a bit one-dimensional is the best way. 20th century gaming. The full name didn't come up on my screen on YouTube, sorry. But yeah, 20th century gaming. Thanks for the update there. Kaz just let me know on that one. Thank you again for the super chat. It is easy to play against Manchester United. And I think that there's only Rúben really who can change that. And that's when we'll talk about all of the leaks and the confusion and not backing Rúben in the transfer market behind the scenes, but we do need to obviously stay in on what happens in games. We had enough to beat Everton, Bournemouth, West Ham, Wolves, and enough to beat Leeds and Burnley. And so far, he's drawn a blank in all of them games. And that's what fans are going to remember. Beating Palace, beating Newcastle, they'll get forgotten about if you can't beat basic poor sides in this Premier League. And that's on Rúben. That's on him. The team were good enough to win them games, even with the AFCON and injured players we've got right now. Just look at the teams that we had out against Everton, against West Ham, against Bournemouth. The games we dropped major points in at home this season. We still had them players playing. And everyone's looking at this, well, he's got no squad. AFCON players are missing all of the injuries. What about when we played them games? Fans don't forget. Fans know what they watch. And you cannot cover this up. Rúben has to beat Leeds tomorrow. I pray that he does. Honestly, I really, really do. it would set off 2026 with a bang, and I think would give him so much more leeway. Got to beat Leeds, got to beat Burnley, and then we can start talking again. But while we're not winning them games, all of this conversation that we've had this morning is there for everybody to see. Please pop a like on the video. We're almost at 300 live likes, everybody. That is absolutely mega. Thank you so much for your participation in the show this morning. I am going to wrap things up there. Please don't forget to get into the Prediction League. The link is there in the description right at the top, everybody. I'm just going to pop it up right now into the live comments as well before we finish as well, everyone. So that is there. So pin that done. And yep, that's there. Thank you, everybody. Again, I was just making sure it came up on my screen there then. Right, let's send that poll as well on Kobbie Mainoo. 74% of you feel like there is more in the Kobbie Mainoo injury. It might not be an injury. Got doubts over it. That's concerning on its own. That really does say something. And yeah, thank you, everybody. Again, I was just finishing the show there. I got lost. Please get your likes in. Please, obviously, make sure you hit the subscribe button and keep that bell notification on for all the updates coming in. And I will catch up with you all later. If anything breaks, I will be there with you, and I will speak to you all in a bit. Have a great day.